Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is the High Priestess. And the King of Swords. Okay, so when we have the High Priestess and we have the King of Swords, this is going to be a time where you are checking in with yourself, where you're checking in about how you're feeling and really getting to the bottom of it, like what you're thinking, how you're feeling, especially connecting with your internal guidance and wisdom that you have. This can be also checking in ways that help you to check in, like for those of you that may do meditation, or you may do divination, or something that's going to help you connect in like whatever way or whatever form it is that you do that. The High Priestess is going to be connecting with yourself on a spiritual level, and then King of Swords is going to be sort of putting the pieces together and figuring things out. There can be some type of problem solving that's being done here. Maybe there's something that you're feeling that you want to be present to now. Maybe you want to act on that too. And having the Eight of Cups, this can be looking at things that you have going on that maybe when you check in about it and you do honest self-reflection about it, it can be things that you're looking at and you don't really want to be doing anymore. This can be stuff where you look at it and you feel like it's time for you to maybe leave, or it's time for you to expand your horizons. I feel like because we sort of live as polarity works here where we are, you can do this one of two ways. So one thing that can sort of come to light for you is that there can be something that feels interesting to you that is drawing you in a direction. And if that means that in order for you to follow that, there's something else that you need to release, to let go of, to leave behind, to transition out of, that can be one way that you do this. Another way that you can do this is by looking around and checking in about what you feel like your heart's no longer in anymore. That doesn't mean it wasn't real. It doesn't mean you wasted time. It doesn't mean you weren't supposed to be there doing that. It can mean that now at this point you can check in and say, I don't know that that resonates with me any longer. And having King of Swords here is going to be that part of you that will be able to discern between like a transient emotion that you're experiencing where you're like, I don't like it today, but like usually that's something that I feel like I connect with, versus this has been going on for a while, or somewhat consistently I've been coming back to being in this place and I think I may want to do something about that then. So this can be the time where you really do check in with yourself. Part of why this can be difficult is because when it's connected to our intuition and what we're feeling, there's not necessarily going to be somebody coming around telling you, up, time's up, it's time for you to go, to transition out. This is more so something that's based off of how you're feeling. The more connected with yourself, the more you're going to feel this, or at least the more present you are, because you're never not connected with yourself, you always are. The more present to the connection with yourself and with what you're feeling and what you're really thinking, even if that means, you know, like High Priestess isn't that part of you that's going to be like, well, you're feeling this, but let's ignore it anyway because it seems like this would be difficult to do, or this would be strenuous, or this would be stressful. High Priestess is the part of you that's really going to give you the truth here. Whether that means something challenging or not would be coming up based off of it, because it's not really about the it's ultimately about how you're feeling and not minimizing that. So it's not going to be like, I'm feeling this, but then I'm going to tuck it away because of this, and then I'll have to do that and whatever. Like the High Priestess doesn't care about it's not going to be it's the part of you that's not going to be deterred because of those things. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't necessarily feel anxiety or that you wouldn't feel scared or that it doesn't feel kind of like stressful or something like that. It can be, but this part of you is not sort of led by fear in that way. It is a heart-led piece of you. This is a part of you that's very much led by love and led by connection and led by your deepest, most inner truth. And so it will tell you the truth when you check in with it, and it will tell you what's right for you, and it will tell you what's no longer right for you, and it will lead you and guide you, and it's not going to be sort of impacted by like whatever that means then, you know, like the implications of that. It's not going to be dissuaded from telling you the truth just because something may have some heavy implications here. I feel like that about says it. And this, what we get from listening to this part of ourselves is that we connect with things that feel fulfilling, that have us feel happy, that have us feel content, that have us feel like we're where we are supposed to be, that have us feeling a sense of fulfillment, a sense of purpose. That is the gift that you get from connecting with this part of yourself and taking action on behalf of the guidance that it gives to you. To heed your intuition and the messages in that way. I am seeing 10 of Swords, so I do definitely get this sense of feeling that something is coming to an end. This can be a significant chapter that you're going to be closing out. I think that the most difficult part of this is to like move forward and not be stuck in the past, or like trying to like recreate a feeling that may not apply any longer to the situation. So I think more than anything, the emotional component of this can be the one that's difficult, especially if you're not fully present. The 10 of Swords can sometimes be a painful feeling. Simultaneously, it can be a release from something that we feel is painful as well. And I think too that pain in this way is just it symbolizes being pushed past your threshold of what feels comfortable. I am seeing a new chapter that you're going to be starting. I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles. So after all of this can be the final cut now. I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles, so this is going to be a brand new chapter that you're starting, and I'd say that it's one too where you're really like allegiant to yourself, where you're really loyal to yourself, really honoring the way that you feel and your deeper truth and what you know, because it's not only about what you feel, it's like your perception of your feelings and the messages and the guidance and what that's saying to you, like how you're interpreting that and then where that's going. And so when we have the High Priestess and the Ace of Pentacles, it can be this new chapter where you feel very, very connected with yourself, where you feel connected with the universe because you're showing up for yourself as well. And it feels too like it's going to allow you to get over that hump. With the 10 of Swords, what it's reminding me of is that at the center of the transition, that can be where it feels most challenging. It's like stuff can feel like it starts getting hard, getting closer and closer to the end. So it's like when it's the beginning of the end, that's when stuff starts getting increasingly more difficult. And then when things are sort of transitioning over to the next of, I don't know, like this point of realization and the releasing and the making sense of things And then it's sort of like once that is accepted, it just, that intensity sort of decreases. And then there's that opening up to the next chapter of the Ace of Pentacles. I even feel like you may feel like you're getting out of something, meaning that it's allowing you to break some pattern or break some loop that it is desirable to break out of. This next chapter can also be one that is connected with decisions in general, and you like really being present and tuned into what's going on. Balancing the heart. Okay, so I'm seeing the moon here and I'm seeing Libra. So this can be all things having to do with your relationships, coming all the way back to your relationship with yourself. And if you are truly honoring that, and this can be like bringing back emotional harmony, like integrating that back into your emotional system. It's not only your emotions, but I think that that's going to be a big chunk of this, like how you're feeling. I guess like feeling isn't always, it's like if there's an umbrella of feeling, emotions are underneath that. I think there are other things as well that go on underneath that umbrella. So High Priestess and Justice is going to be knowing in your heart what to do here. And it feels very much like that is indicating that time is up with something. And because you feel it, you'll feel that within you. It will feel very strong within you. That doesn't mean that that there's not a part of you that's like, no, this is too much, or then what am I going to do? It doesn't mean that. It just means in your heart, you know really what the right move is. And something does feel like it's finished. And that can mean too, if I'm going to feel in harmony with myself, this is the way that I do this. This is the method that I do this. Otherwise, I'm going to feel like something is out of whack within me, and you will get all of the symptoms of that, which can be already what you've been experiencing. So it will just be more of that. So where to next? I guess that's the thing that's being figured out. I feel like this is going to open some doors for you now. In a way, from everything that I'm seeing, this feels most of all like it's centered and focused around you transitioning out of something that you no longer are feeling that full sense of connection with anymore, that it's time to be doing this, that you are ready to do this, that you know this, that this feels like it is your truth now in this moment, and that you are going to be getting on track with something that feels more appealing, that feels more attractive to you, that feels more desirable to you, something that feels exciting to you. We have the Magician here and we have the Page of Wands. So this feels kind of like, in a way, starting a new chapter where there's a bit of a new project that you have going on within your life. Having the Moon on the bottom of the deck, this is going to be an exploration of the unknown. And it feels too like this gives you permission to now like be somewhere doing something that you want to be doing. And I feel too like there's a part of you that's been sort of messaging you, telling you this, and now taking these steps is going to allow you to actually realize that. Having High Priestess and having Magician is going to help you to really be on track and in touch with yourself, and then make sure that sort of what you're doing, what you're working on, what you are creating feels congruent with what you're thinking and how you're feeling. So that this is a creation from the heart. Feels like this chapter, all in all, is about making moves where you're really honoring how you're feeling and your deepest truth. I think that 8 of Cups is really important, so you're not sort of like working on things that you don't feel a sense of care for, you don't feel a sense of passion for, or you don't feel connected with, or that like doesn't really resonate with you on a level of feeling. So right now feels like sort of the weeding out process that's happening. King of Swords and Page of Wands is going to be you spending more time sort of checking in with yourself here. And what that means too is that this can be time where you're sort of taking action and investigating what it is that you feel drawn to, kind of like what it is that catches your eye. It can be where your mind is drawn, what you feel interested engaging in, what you naturally feel drawn to paying attention to, things that you want to look into and leaning in that way. And last but not least, having Justice and having 10 of Swords indicates that when you make this move, and it's one that is about restoring harmony within you, it allows for a very deep alleviation to happen where you feel like things are back in balance within you, and things will then feel like they stabilize. And you'll be able to relax within that because you know that things are right. So it will allow this process of trying to regain balance and harmony dynamically within yourself to finally be established. And so that process will come to an end now, as in you have reached that harmonious state within yourself. And then also another meaning of having the moon on the bottom of the deck is the way that you maneuver within these parts of yourself where you're getting to know yourself and you're getting to understand yourself better, and the things that can be felt but not necessarily obviously seen until we are tuning into it. Kind of like the whispers of your soul and your heart. And becoming present to those. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.